Blog Talk Radio.
Carol the Coach. Sex, love, and relationships. We talk about it here.
Carol the Coach. Compassion with contemporary relevance.
I am a psychotherapist. I can be your personal life coach, and I can help you with your issues. There are no problems too small or too big. You can talk about anything.
Speaker, columnist, radio TV host, and commentator. Carol the Coach brings messages of wellness and empowerment within reach of everyday people every day.
Almost 5 years ago, I lost my soulmate in an accident. He was killed in a plane crash. Life just, for me, has seemed to stop.
There are groups all over the city. I teach one. It is a specific way to start thinking so that you shift how you see the world, which then shifts your energy, and then you feel better and you actually see things differently.
Carol the Coach. Always available, too, at carolthecoach.com.
Now, I've got Russell on the line.
I'm 47 years old. I'm a truck driver. I'm married. I have a wife in San Francisco.
Okay.
I haven't been home in 6 months. My thing is, I don't know if I have a sex addiction or what the problem is. Why do I want what I can't have? And as soon as I can have it, I don't want it anymore.
You're right on target when you say, I don't know if I have a sexual addiction. Well, guess what? Yes, you do. And you know what? That's my specialty, Russell. So you're at the right place. Continue.
I meet women online, and I'm in a different part of the country. I travel all 48 states, so I love sex.
I hear self-esteem issues. You never felt good enough, and you didn't feel like you were getting what you should have then, and you're reenacting that now. Do you want to change that about yourself?
You get what you need.
Oh, yeah. You know, trauma reenactment can really play a part in sexual addiction. We know that. But we also know that it can be a habit disorder. It can be something that occurs as a result of compulsive and intrusive maladaptive behaviors. It can be a result of self-soothing and self-medication. So there is not one reason someone has a sex addiction. But if you're like many of the men that do, it is so important that you begin to get the help you need so that you can regain your integrity. And the truth of the matter is, you know that I have been working with sexual addiction for the longest time, and now I'm working in partner betrayal. And if you have a partner, if your wife is struggling with your addiction, it is for her that you're doing this too. Now, you know, they say you cannot stop an addiction for somebody else, and I agree with that. But it can be the impetus to begin to get you to the tools that you need to find out how to manage this horrible, horrible disorder. Hi, I'm Carol Jurgensen-Sheets, and we are rocking today after Thanksgiving. We're having an after Thanksgiving fest, probably increasing our exercise a little bit, and just really enjoying the holidays as they come upon us, and we spend more time with our family, more time with our loved ones, and of course, we probably have more stress. So, stressful enough, if you don't have sex addiction in your life, but if you have any maladaptive relationship, any relationship that is abusive, where there are secrets, where you don't really feel safe, you're confused, you're overwhelmed, well, then I got the show for you today, because we're going to be talking about finding your safe space. And I have a guest who has created a program for you so that you can find your own safe space. And I'm not necessarily talking physical. I'm talking emotional. I'm talking at looking at your life from a variety of places, people, persons, and things. You know, Kim Day has put together this incredible program called Safe Space, and she's going to talk to us about why she created it and who might benefit from it. And if you're somebody who senses that you've been abused emotionally, physically, sexually, this is a show for you today, because the resources she has to offer will definitely make you feel less isolated and more empowered, and you'll really be able to focus on yourself. So, we try to have experts in the field that really give you an opportunity to be able to find resources out there. And this is a brand new resource. So I am so excited to be interviewing Kim. Kim, welcome to Sex Help with Carol the Coach.
Hi, Carol. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Thank you so much. And, I remember back when you were talking about developing this program, and it sounded so exciting, and yet it hadn't gotten off the ground yet. So I was so thrilled when I saw that you were marketing it, you were sharing it with people, and it was going to be an opportunity for any woman who was in a confusing, overwhelming relationship where she knew she wasn't treated right to be able to go and find that safe place. So tell us a little bit about what made you create this program and what is Safe Space?
Absolutely. Well, I'm a therapist by trade, and my specialty is partners of sex addicts. And so I was working with clients. I was working with groups of women who were experiencing this. And I noticed there was a lot of difference in the trauma they were experiencing. They were all in trauma, but there were many that were traumatized because of the inappropriate acting out of their partner. Mm-hmm. And there were many that were traumatized, and some of them, that the majority of their trauma was from the inappropriate acting and behavior within the relationship. And they were identifying sex addiction as the issue, but they weren't really differentiating some of the internal trauma that was happening within the relationship. So I got really curious about what makes the difference. And you and I both know there's a wide range, a huge spectrum of experiences. And I think this is just a normal human trait. Once we lock on to there's a sexual addiction, we kind of throw everything under that heading and assume that if a sexual addiction is addressed and treated, it's gonna take care of all of the other issues. And I didn't find that was a helpful mindset for these ladies because I didn't think it was true. And then I had Galen Ray Emerson shared this amazing this one-page she'd been developing of differentiating between what healthy and unhealthy looked like. And I took that idea and I spent a lot of time thinking about, and I created the Unhealthy Relationship Dynamics Assessment, which is about 168 questions that go domain by domain, asking what women's experiences are. And then it gives the results of where it helps to ferret out some of those underlying patterns in the specific domains. And I reached out to several of the other professionals, Jill Manning and Lisa Taylor, Galen Emerson, of course, and Dan Drake, and several others, and I got feedback on what are some of these things that happen that are, from their professional perspective, that are directly the result of sexual addiction, and which are often maybe a comorbid or something that it would be indicative of a different issue that needs to be addressed more directly. And so I spent several years developing this assessment, and that just recently is available as well. And then from there, that took me into Safe Space, and I've spent this last year creating an online resource that is designed to help support women who are experiencing any number of destructive dynamics in their relationship or who are trying to heal from past relationship wounds and are trying to process through those. And so it's a resource to help women to identify what is real for them or what was real, what was happening, and empower them to move through those and respond to those in a healthy way.
Wow. I love the fact that you said you'd been thinking about what the needs were of partners, but it wasn't until you got this one-page sheet that it began to percolate and formulate into this incredible assessment process. And, well, our listening audience is going to have to hear how it works. First of all, if you're listening on the computer, you might want to go to www.onesafespace.com because it will show you the different rooms, so to speak, that actually house our identities and our parts of ourselves. I mean, it's just genius how you did this. So I, again, love that Galen was the reason for the season. She got you going. And then, yeah, when I looked at your program, I immediately thought of Jill Manning because Jill is the master of assessments. Our own Jill Manning was on the show maybe, it was the beginning of November. It was the very first week in November talking about some of the resources that she has available for partners. And it was just so well done. It was so professional. And I said, Kim, you've got to come on the show. I love this. So tell us a little bit about the format. I mean, we understand how you disseminated the information and got it put together, but what can they expect when they go to your site?
Yeah. And I'll make one correction for you, Carol. You have to take the www out. So if you, in your bar, just type onesafespace.com. Or you could type in HTTP and // But if you just type in onesafespace.com without the www. It will take you straight to the website. The www. Will actually take you somewhere else.
Okay. Buddy, please remember that. Take that www.off and just put in onesafespace.com. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Thank you. And I appreciate that you alluded to these parts because to me that really hits on one of what makes this invaluable as a resource is because it helps to organize these parts of a person. And so not only is it designed to help you to really assess your own relationships and what's going on within a relationship, but also yourself. It really is a great tool for a self-inventory. And it was designed to be really positive and empowering for women. There are a variety of rooms that represent these various domains of our well-being. And we really can't neglect any of these domains. Oftentimes, when we talk about things like abuse, we have one idea of what that looks like. That might be battery or something like that. But there are so many ways to have either destructive patterns or healthy patterns in a lot of these domains. And so being able to look at yourself holistically and what is happening within yourself and within your relationship in all these different domains. These rooms are specific to helping you assess what's going on for you in these different domains. So the kitchen represents the physical domain. So there are various domain-specific rooms. The kitchen was for physical. The bedroom represents sexual. The office represents financial. The chapel, spiritual. And the bathroom represents emotional, relational, and psychological. So in all of those domain-specific rooms, there's content, and I try to make them very, very brief videos about principles and understanding how to empower yourself in this particular domain. So, for example, in the kitchen, we start off with self-care, developing a self-care plan. There's also a lot of worksheets that correspond with the videos. So it's a really engaging resource. It can help you in a very proactive way to process what's going on and to identify for yourself how to improve in these specific domains. It was really important to me that this didn't feel heavy or negative or depressing. And when we talk about abuse or destructive patterns, It really can be. It's heavy. It's depressing. It can feel like a downer. And I didn't want this to have that type of feel. And so it's designed to feel like a retreat. It's very pretty. It's very uplifting. And there's a lot of content that is designed to how do you build yourself up in this domain. There's also content in these domain-specific rooms that will help you identify what patterns, what is going on for you in this domain. So in the kitchen, we address fear and intimidation. That's something that women experience in their relationships. For many of us, that's not something we experience. So it's set up also so that women can find what's relevant to them and identify where there are issues for them and how to respond to those issues.
I love the fact.
Go ahead.
I love the fact that you don't lump all women together. I mean, you really give them an opportunity to assess what are their needs and what do they need the most help with. And, of course, after taking that huge assessment, they're able to go to the area that they either think they can tackle first or know that they need to tackle first. It matters not. It's whatever they have the energy for. Right, Kim?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There is a quick mini assessment they can take right on the home page. That's a very abbreviated, shortened version of the long, extensive assessment, but it gives them a suggestion of where to start. It'll suggest the study. The study is not a domain-specific room, but it's designed to be a place to start where women can start to recognize patterns. And it gives principles and ideas and a lot of worksheets to help them process through what's happening either in their current relationship or what happened in a past relationship. So the study is always recommended as a place to start. But then if there's financial abuse, and that's the most significant scoring-wise, that mini assessment will say, we suggest you start in the study and in the office. If there is sexual abuse, then it will recommend the bedroom. And then there is the garden, which is designed, it's not a domain-specific room, but it's about your own personal relationship with yourself, your autonomic nervous system. There are a lot of exercises, grounding exercises. There's a lot of videos that help in just very small nuggets to teach principles of how we relate to ourselves and our own self-regulation. There's a lot of somatic exercises that in like 2 minutes you can sit down and learn a somatic exercise and go through it with me. There's also a yoga section by a very dear friend of mine who has experienced a lot in her life and who then became a yoga instructor to help women who experienced trauma. And she is fantastic. You will love her. She's got yin yoga. She's got a variety of forms of yoga. She also has a variety of meditations that can correspond with those or you can do separately. But that whole section, that garden, is designed for that self-regulation and to empower those parts of ourselves. So often when there's trauma, there is a dissociation from our physical body. And the garden is designed to help that integration process of coming back to ourselves and getting to know ourselves. There's also a gym, which is the focus on that is action. And how do you take these principles that you've learned or these patterns that you've identified? Okay, I have some issues maybe with sexual coercion. I'm finding as I was in the bedroom, maybe there's more coercion that I'd like. How do I respond to that? The gym has sections on boundaries. It has sections on communication, information about that, and worksheets, and on just personal empowerment, things that women can do to grow their sense of identity and sense of choice in their own life. And so there's lots of content there also that you can use. Once you've identified what needs to change, the gym will help you to do that.
Well, that makes sense, and it is so important for our partners to look at their lives and be able to attend to the self-care that they might need. And this is such a great tool for them to really be encouraged to look at all aspects of their life. By yourself, Kim, I mean, I know you collaborated with people, but you were able to put this whole project together by yourself?
Well, I can't say by myself. This is I certainly began it, but I recognized, I guess, my inadequacy to be the expert in all of these areas. And so my goal really was to create a structure that I could seek people like you and those who have this wisdom and this light and get them to contribute. So yes, there are those who have collaborated. I also was blessed with colleagues who have helped and supported this. Alana Gordon and her company has helped me. She's allowed me, I have zero expertise in building websites, so I needed a lot of help on just the technical pieces. And then my dear friend who's becoming even more so, Amy Woolsey, who is a coach and also very passionate about helping women to find hope and healing and empowerment. She is my co-host. We have our own podcast. It's a private podcast for members of Safe Space, because I really wanted it to have a little bit of a different flavor than clinical podcasts or podcasts that are more professional, because as you may have guessed, both Amy and I have experienced our own destructive relationships, and so this allows us to speak really openly and really have some exposure around what is it like to be in these situations and open up about, this is what I was thinking. This is what I didn't know that I didn't know. This is what I learned. And our hope is that women can connect with us in that very personal way and connect their own experience and what they're thinking and where they're struggling, where they're feeling stuck, in a way that they wouldn't in some more public forums. And so Amy has been my greatest champion in building this and supporting it and contributing to this. And I am always on the lookout for others who have something like this that they want to contribute and see in the space. Because what I have right now, I consider there is a lot of content there now, but I consider a skeleton set up. It's set up so that it's easily organized to provide resources and for women to understand where it fits in the big picture of their health and their healing and their happiness. I had a company in Idaho reach out, and their expertise is in music therapy, and they said, can we provide content that uses music to help in healing? And so it's really exciting, some of the people who are asking to contribute their piece or their niche and put it in there so that women can access a whole wide variety of resources and ideas that can help them. So I can't claim ultimate care. As much as I'd like to say, yes, this is all me, it actually gave me a lot of comfort as I've spent this last year creating it, knowing that I didn't need to know everything. We have such a beautiful community of experts who are passionate for helping individuals to heal and to have joy and peace in their life, that I knew I could create something and then draw from that wisdom and that passion to make it available in a way that is a little bit broader than what we can sometimes do with the one-on-one coaching or the one-on-one therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that when I surveilled the incredible website, I said to myself, this really has it all. But I love the fact that you say, really, it's a skeleton. You're going to be tweaking it. You're going to be adding to it. There may be some different experts from time to time that collaborate and just keep it fresh. And that's what your podcast is all about. But the only way you get the podcast is if you sign up for this project. And again, I want to tell you that if you have any questions, Kim has set this thing up like a homie inn, if you will. I mean, when you look at it, you already kind of breathe deep and you think, this is where I'd like to live. And the various rooms represent all the various aspects or domains within yourself. And so you get to pick what domains do you think need tweaking first, last. Not every partner is traumatized, but we do know that discovery as well as that constant relapse or slipping of an addict will keep the executive functioning a bit offline. And so this is a safe place for you to go and to nurture yourself and really look at things. I don't think I saw anything about couples in your safe space, did I?
Couples, and tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for there.
Well, I was just thinking, one of the things I know is that you don't have to be a partner to sign up for this, that you can be in a very confusing maladaptive relationship. You can be in a relationship that has periodic abuse. You can be in a relationship that isn't healthy. And I wondered if there was any part of your domains to a woman about healthy relationships and what that would look like and how that would affect her.
Yes, I would say the majority, all of the domains, we have a whole section in each of those domain-specific rooms about what healthy looks like. And you're absolutely right on, Carol. This isn't, you don't have to be a betrayed partner for this. It is open to, you don't have to have sexual addiction in your current situation or in your past. This is for any woman who maybe is confused or has experienced or is experiencing any level of intensity of destructive patterns that wants to gain clarity about that, to gain possibly options, or is looking back to heal. I think there's a big population of women who have left destructive relationships. Maybe there was an addiction, maybe there wasn't. And quite honestly, they're scared. There is something that pulls them back mentally into wanting to make sense of their past experience and to know exactly what you just asked. What does healthy look like? What did I experience? So often we know, well, that wasn't right, but I'm not sure exactly what is. That was mean. I hear a lot of, that was mean, but we don't have words or labels to really adequately articulate, not to others, yes, to others too, but to ourselves, our own lived experience. And I have found personally, and with many women, there is sometimes this nagging call that pulls us back. Sometimes it's even unrelenting to try to understand what went wrong and how to protect ourselves in the future. And so many of these women feel crippled and frightened to engage in relationships again because they don't know what happened, and so they don't feel adequate to protect themselves or to prevent it. And so safe space is for them as well, absolutely. I do believe there is wisdom that is available that we can essentially harvest from our heart, even from our trauma. That is priceless. But sometimes it does require us to go back and trudge through the past, even the ick of the hard and the trauma, to be free of it. And so that's another population that the safe space is designed for, to really get clarity on, this is healthy, this is not, this is what I experienced, this is what I don't want, this is what I do. Now I know how to get it. Now I know what to look for. Now I know how to ask for it or set boundaries or insist upon it. And so that is another thing that safe space was designed to empower women to be able to do.
Yeah, you said it earlier, but I want to remind our listening audience that safe space is not just for partners, and it's also for partners that are in transition. Maybe you're just getting out of a relationship and, you're 9 months down the road, and as Kim indicated, you're afraid to trust yourself. You're afraid to trust your own intuition. This would be the perfect place for you to go. Or if you're not sure if what you experienced is abuse, just as she indicated, women tend to doubt themselves. They want to give their partners or the people that they love the benefit of the doubt when really there's been something tugging at them saying, this is not healthy for you. This is not where you need to be. And if you're in that place, safe space is exactly what you need. Now remember, that website is onesafespace.com. Take a look at it. See the different rooms. See the assessment. And decide, are there things about yourself that you would like to know more about? Because this is really an examination of who you are and what you're doing, where you're going, and certainly where you've been. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This might sound silly, but one of my favorite rooms is the bathroom. And we do a lot of that self-exploration in there because of the mirrors, the representation of the reflection and the identity. And when we have had trauma in our relationships, there is kind of this mirroring effect of what happens outside can be reflected within us. And when we have these breaches of trust in our outside relationships, it is very natural to have damage within our own relationship with ourselves. And so there is a lot of power and empowerment as we address those wounded parts and those wounded relationships within ourselves, and that then can reverberate out into creating health and safety in our outside relationships. And so the bathroom is a great room to really explore those wounds with yourself and find ways of changing those.
Yeah. And when you go to Safe Space, let me see if I understand this. We're not really allowed to talk prices on the air, but person pays for the website, or is it a membership fee, or is it both?
Yes, it is. There's a couple of things. You can purchase the assessment with a one-on-one consultation with either Amy or myself to take the assessment and then sit down with us and go through the results. Okay. You can also, or you can purchase the membership for Safe Space, which is a monthly or annual subscription where you go in and use it however it works best for you. And what I've found with women is there's an evolution in their healing where they're going to need different things at different times. And so it is set up in a way where, kind of like a buffet, you can pick what you want and what you need, and not everything is going to be relevant right now. I also have some good news for you, Carol, when it comes to price. Coming December, which, if I'm right, that's in like 2 days.
It is.
I'm setting it up. Yes. Merry Christmas. We're into my favorite season of the year, but we're setting it up so that in December, Safe Space is free. Safe Space is free to anybody who wants to go and try it out for the month of December. And then I really set it up with the intent that it's accessible to any woman who needs it. And so it is very, I will say, economically priced right now. I didn't want pricing to be an obstruction, but I also realize that sometimes anything is too much for women that are in when there's financial abuse, or when they have just left a destructive relationship, or they're in a relationship where they have no access to money. So sometimes anything is too much, and so there is a way that you can essentially request the price that works for you, for your budget, and have request that to be changed. And I'm very open, very familiar with those type of situations. And so, again, my intent was that money is never an obstacle for women to access this. And so if anybody says, this is something I need, and the price is an obstacle, they can request, again, whatever price they need. And that will be up in the next few days as well.
Wow, Kim, I mean, this is amazing. So if I heard you correctly, if you go to Safe Space, and, well, let me give you the entire website. It's not www, but it is http:// As of December 1st, it'll be free so that you can check it out. Now, this is a time-limited, I'm assuming, only in December price, free in December. And then, obviously, it's something that you may want to continue doing for 2023, and so there will be an affordable price. But even if that price isn't affordable, you will negotiate because you don't want anybody limiting taking care of themselves if it has to do with money. They just need to go into what I call the second biggest coaching principle in the world, going for the big ask. So that is amazing, absolutely amazing. I will be taking it so that, I'm not a partner, but I really love to see what resources are out there. So I'll be doing that so that I can continue to promote it. And Kim, I just want to thank you, one, for your big heart, your compassion for partners. Again, this is not just for partners. It's for women that have been through any abusive, neglectful relationship. It's a way to take back your life. But I want to thank you for being so available. I know that you put probably thousands of hours into this project. And so
I was dreaming about it, Carol. It was in my dreams all last year. It's been a work of love, though.
Oh, well, we will continue to chat with you to find out how it's going and what tweaks you have made. Is there anything else you would like to tell our listening audience before we wrap up?
I think I would just end with my hope for Safe Space is that it helps women to identify and to heal the wounds that they've experienced or that they may be experiencing and that they need to address in real time, and that it was designed to give women the experience that they are not alone, that they have allies, they have resources, they have a community. There's a Facebook page of others who are also in or have experienced their form of hard, and to validate those often invisible mountains that we come across that seem insurmountable when we're alone, but that can be traversed, and that these ladies can do it, that they're stronger than they know. Women need women. We need each other, and that when women have a sense of purpose and a sense of power in their own individual lives, they do incredible things. And so this was built as kind of a symbol of hope of what I believe these women can do, that they're here for a reason. They can do amazing things. And I want to help them to find resources to remove the barriers that are impacting their ability to do good and to be the good and the light that they were here to be.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much, because you have really role modeled that. You're a reflection of what it feels like to be in post-traumatic growth. So, Kim Day, thank you so much. Again, that website is onesafespace.com. And if you want to contact Kim, you can reach her at kimsafespace.com. Kim, have a happy holiday, and thanks for our Christmas gifts.
Thank you, Carol. Happy holidays to you and to all you ladies who are listening.
Mm-hmm. Well, and some men will be listening, too. This is a program for sex addicts, too. So make sure to let your partners know that this is available to them in December. Remind them not to cheat themselves, but to take a look at this and that it's free all of December. Make it a good one, Kim.
I'm glad you
soon.
said that. Can I say this really quick? Because I realize that for many, we have loved ones. There are fathers who have daughters. There are brothers that have sisters. There are mothers who have daughters, and it's our relationships that recognize that there's an issue. And so this was designed with that in mind, that if you have someone, a loved one that you know that needs this, sometimes it's you that needs to reach out and make that accessible for somebody else that you love.
And so for anybody who may not be a partner, but knows of somebody who would benefit from really exploring themselves based on having some unhealthy relationships, make sure to go to onesafespace.com. Thanks, Kim, and Merry Christmas.
Goodbye, Carol.
Bye-bye. All right, well, what a deal. What a steal deal. My listening and audience, I love that you're going to get that. Fantastic. All right, we have to end the show, but I will say there will always be one of you at all times, and I fearlessly want you to have the courage to be yourself. Super cool. You got a Christmas present today, and it's, on Thursday, and wouldn't that be something if you really, in the busyness of Christmas, worked on taking some time out just for you. All right. And again, fearlessly have the courage to be yourself. We'll see you next week for more sex help with Carol the Coach.